Sodium wall. I don't know what the hell that is. It just makes me think it's a wall made of salt.
100%. So what they do with their food is they heat it up and they just wipe it on that wall, and it's seasoned.
Yes, the nap. Hey everybody, welcome back to another Stoneface Reactions. I'm Theta, this is Justin, and we're back with Gundam seed. I think we're on episode 5 now.
I think it might be episode 4.
Is it episode 4? Whatever I sent you. Well, no, I think we did 4 recordings, so this should be episode 5.
Okay.
Yeah, because last time we shot right through because we didn't have much to talk about other than recapping episodes.
That's correct.
Well, this time I'm breaking that habit because I went back and I jotted down some stuff. I went back to re-listen to my thoughts on the first 4 episodes from the first time I watched this with Griffin.
Yep.
Most of my notes were just things I didn't understand or hadn't figured out yet. Obviously, I'm not in that position anymore, so can't just go over those same thoughts again. Also, I already went over the abbreviations of things that we saw in the last group of episodes we watched.
Yep.
Obviously, I'll also be leaving out all the comparisons I made to Universal Century stuff that I made, as Griffin and I were watching Seed and OG Gundam at the same time, and here in this new watching that would make 0 sense. So, some thoughts that I had that still apply now. And just for you, see, I don't think I actually talked about this before, Justin. In the original, or unlike most of the shows that we did here, I used to do this thing called Theta's Thoughts, where I would have maybe like 20 minutes to half an hour of just the stuff that happened in the episodes that I questioned or had additional go over about. So, this is just me reconciling, because I was talking to Griffin just last night. That was like, man, all those thoughts that I had were mostly just references to shit that we watched. We don't have that repertoire because we are just watching your first animes. So
it is so true.
Yeah. So what half an hour of hour rather, I think, between all 4 episodes got turned down into 6 comments. So my thoughts from episode 1. Heliopolis states that Zaft is breaking the treaty when they approach in episode 1. However, earlier in that episode, the main characters are watching a news report where Kaohsiung, so I don't know how to say it the first time, I don't know how to say it now. Kaohsiung is under attack, and they refer to that as the homeland. So how can there still be a treaty between them when their homeland is already under attack?
Politically, that makes no sense.
That's what I'm saying. I don't get it. So I don't think it was ever addressed in a comment.
Unless their homeland is technically not a part of the same sovereign state.
I believe the idea is that the homeland is a place on Earth that's being attacked. And
so if that's the case, and if it's part of the same sovereign state or governing body, then that doesn't make sense. But if it isn't, then that's technically a treaty broken.
Alright. We get the standard child soldier thing that Gundam loves to pull, even before the main characters get in the Gundam, when Bad Girl states that there are already kids fighting on the front lines. I guess it's...
First point, I thank you for reminding me of the incredible naming of one of the characters.
Natalie Bad Girl.
Yep. And for the child soldier thing, yeah, no, I get why it would happen, especially when war is this much of a fought thing. However, if that's an active trope, I would like to see how it's tastefully done.
Well, it tends to be that how do you show war is bad, right? And child soldiers is just the biggest thing I think that Gundam tends to pull. Alright. The whole first arc implies that there was an inside man on Heliopolis that let the zaft infiltration crew in to plant their bombs. They waited outside the hatch for the security grid to go down at a specific time, knowing it would happen. My original theory at this point in time was that it was the mysterious Hat Girl that nobody knew. However, she was also there to see the professor that our main characters were talking about, someone that
Yeah,
vanished just before the invasion started. Hat Girl even looks down on the Gundams during the episode and calls them the Earth Force's new weapons, which seems to denote that she's not on the Earth Force's side herself. Lastly, she also cries out that her father betrayed them, which gives me the feeling that her father was on the zaft side and then gave the technology to the Earth side.
makes sense. That can make a lot of sense.
I also
I
realized,
think if there is a betrayal, it will act like it will be revealed as the episodes go on at some point.
well, I'm sure they're not going to let a betrayal go without using it for narrative and purpose.
1,000,000%.
I also realized I didn't tell you this ahead of time. Uh, what I've always done with Theta Thoughts was that I wrote them all down while I was watching or whatever. So I'm literally reading off of a note card my own thoughts
Yep.
because
Yeah,
I'm
it's
not
all good.
smart enough to work off the hip. And lastly, I think when Griff and I were watching these, we were watching them two at a time originally.
Yep.
So my thoughts come from like different episodes. So this time, last three thoughts come from episode 3, which is funny since we're watching 4 at a time at the moment. But I think again the plan is to slow down once we hit 17 or 18,
Yeah.
because that's about the point where all the viewers from YouTube were hit.
Well, because then
Doing
there'll also be the backlog of stuff to talk about and back and relate.
right. Well, I mean, it's also I've got at the bottom of this notepad all the comment section of people who are commenting, or actually, sorry, not that those people are actually getting that release this week. Like they're getting their last me and Griff reactions this week, and then
Yeah.
they'll start getting hit by our stuff. No, what I meant to say is I've got all these Theta's thoughts from episode 17 to go over, sitting on the bottom of this same notepad.
We'll get there.
Yeah, but from episode 3, doing a rewatch of the last two episodes, I rather like some of the music score, like the song that plays in the opening moments of the second episode. I found highly reminiscent of the Eagles song Journey of the Sorcerer from the 1975 Can't Remember the Name of the Album, which, it's funny. That's what I said originally on episode 3 when I was reacting to it, that I can't remember the name of the album. And I could have looked it up in all of this time, but I guess I just didn't. Which is also used as the theme tune in Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy.
I didn't know, but I didn't connect the Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy dot.
Well, like I said, I found it that what the score that I'm talking about reminiscent of Journey of the Sorcerer. I'm not saying
Yeah.
it's actually playing here, but yeah, Journey of the Sorcerer is where Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy gets its theme song from. So yeah, that
What
that
Eagles
whole
album is
English
it?
novel slash English television show slash English movie, or I guess American movie, has its theme song. Or sorry, also radio play has its whole theme song based on an American band.
Which is kind of crazy.
Douglas Adams wanted a out there feel, and the Journey of the Sorcerer sound
I
is
knew I had
literally
it
that.
correct.
What's that?
It's Desperado,
What is?
the album.
Oh, okay. I only know Desperado. Well, is that the?
If
I
it's
only know one
73, it's
song.
Desperado.
I only know one song that has the word Desperado in it, and I don't think that's the Eagles. So I'm clearly thinking of something different.
The Eagles have a Desperado.
No. I'm just saying I'm thinking of something different. I don't know any songs Desperado. Also, I think I know more Don Henley's solo work than any of his work with the
That I
Eagles.
don't know. That I don't know.
Anyway, second thought from episode 3. I have to give it up to Rao for doing what most antagonists don't, recognizing a threat early on and trying to do something about it. He gets the report that one of the Gundams wasn't captured, and Miguel failed to stop it, so he goes out himself to handle the situation. Maybe not great that he pulled in, I'll handle this myself, considering the number of forces he had available to command, but at least it shows initiative.
I actually prefer that he handled it himself because of the fact that most people wouldn't be equipped to fight a Gundam. Especially if he's hearing that, like, we didn't get them all. Clear that it's not just like someone flailing around in this thing. If the call's being made,
I mean, there's an element of command, right? That if you're in command of a mission, you're too important to sacrifice to the mission itself.
True, but at the same time, like there's no sending a whole bunch of people at a guy with a gun. If someone knows how to shoot, you kind of have to get in there.
Well, we've covered before the whole rank structure of zaft, that you have the green members and the red members, and then the black, and then the white. Well, I think that's what my last point implies, is that he has all of these red and green members he can throw out, which are people who are actually trained, like everybody that went out to steal a Gundam.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Well,
those are
wasn't
all.
it at that point already implied they like the who went out to seal with it and tried to fight the guy had already not been successful?
I believe Miguel is the only example of that because Miguel dies, but Miguel is also not in a Gundam. I believe Miguel is the one who's supposed to steal the Gundam that Kira is in. Oh no, maybe
Got it.
no, I think that's right. I can't. So I'm confused now because my memory is flashing back to the fact that Athrun shows up in front of Kira, but then Athrun runs away and steals a different Gundam. I know Miguel is on scene and
So
Miguel loses, so
So if in that case, if it's just Miguel, then I agree with you. But if it's been already implied that like, hey, this guy's causing problems and he knows what he's doing, then I agree with the choice of going in.
I mean either way Rao loses. So
Oh yeah, 100%. But there's a loss because you got outclassed, and there's a loss because you shouldn't have made the call.
all right, and last thought here. Despite being the villain of the scenario, even that Kira and gang are the viewpoint characters, it's interesting that Rao is the one to point out how could they allow a mobile suit to have such power after it blasts a hole in the side of the station. Even the zaft captain guy seemed shocked to watch the station fall apart and escape pods being shot all over the place.
Don't have the background to know the power levels of mobile suits, though that is a comment that I will have to contextualize as we
I think
watch.
you can still contextualize based on what you've seen.
So from
The
what I've seen, yes.
the zaft forces, you've seen that they've had mobile suits and they have like guns, right? But the Gundams seem to have large scale energy weapons. Like the zaft
Well,
guys
one
don't
million
blow a hole in
percent.
the side of Heliopolis. Only the Gundams do,
Yeah.
which implies that the Earth Force has designed a weapon with the power to destroy a space station, whereas the zaft people didn't.
Again, I need to see how common it is for one Gundams to be present versus mobiles, and
Well,
number two, at what level our protagonist's Gundam is in comparison to other Gundams. because
Well,
that's gonna set the stage for opinion for me.
I believe the implication is that these are the only 5 Gundams.
Might be the implication, but this show ran for there's how many episodes of
Well,
Seed?
no, I mean, I believe I'm not trying to use future knowledge or anything. I'm only hitting you with knowledge from the first
Of
4
course.
episodes. Like, I believe we
Yeah.
even talked about when Flay gets out of the escape pod, because you remember the whole conversation. Kira is like, "There's an escape pod out here. I'm gonna bring it on
Mhm.
board," and they're like, "Don't bring it on board." And he brings it on board. And Flay gets out. She sees the
Yeah.
Gundam in the hangar and says, "Are we on a Zaft ship?" Because
Yep.
only Zaft has mobile suits.
100%. So the implication that there's only 5 Gundams to me was that there was only 5 Gundams here. I don't think there has to be more Gundams out there of different designs.
The
That's
only
what I'm saying.
counter I have to that is remember when Ramius? Sorry, her name is inspired
Mhm.
by the captain of the Red October, and now I'm having a difficulty remembering his name versus her name, which is the same name, really.
Yep.
Points a gun at them and implies that this is like secret knowledge.
Oh, yeah, no, my favorite character doing what makes sense because of her position. Again, it's secret knowledge, but secret knowledge to the specific people.
Right.
Like it's the case where it's like the idea of an assault rifle when it was first made. You know for a fact similar weapons existed at other places that you could call an assault rifle. The implication that one country can make this means that other nations are doing something similar. That's what I'm saying.
Okay. And to answer your question from before, uh, 2 seasons, 25 episodes plus a movie.
Yeah, if there's only 5 suits over that whole time, I will be surprised.
Well, remember, you just said suits. A
I
Gundam
mean,
is a
not
mobile suit. A
not
mobile
mobile
suit is
suits.
not a Gundam.
100%. 100%. I
Wait,
mean specifically
I think
Gundams,
I think
not
reverse
not
what I
mobile
just said.
suits.
A mobile suit. A
It made
Gundam is
sense in my
a
head, so
Gundam is
either
a
way.
mobile suit. A mobile suit might not be a Gundam. You know, I'm not saying this for you
Correct.
anymore. I'm trying to make sure the comments don't roast me. Speaking of which, I've actually
If a
done this in.
Gundam walks down the street, people might look at that mobile suit. But if a mobile suit down the street, they'll say, "Oh, that's not a Gundam."
See,
That's what you're
you're
saying.
making the same mistake that I'm trying to avoid here. Again, a Gundam is a mobile suit. A mobile suit might
I'm
not
just
be a
trying. I'm
Gundam.
trying to pull comments with that one. That's all that is. I I fully understand in my head.
All right. Did this in the wrong order though. Actually, we have one comment, and I should have read the comment first, but I've got it on my notepad in the wrong order. So, we have a comment
Yep.
from Marta Kira Ayanami from the Patreon from the episode False Peace. Yay! Okay, gonna start rewatching my first Gundam. Wasn't a choice of mine. Simply this one had not polish, Polish DVD release so many years ago. And as a manga and anime fan, I've heard of mysterious Gundams for years then. Ever again. Sorry. The implication. I'm reading the comment. Okay, gonna start rewatching my first Gundam. Parentheses, everything I said. End parentheses, ever again. I love Seed, by the way, and I'm seeing online right now on various pages that hating it is not as popular as it once was, which is a relief. I hope Justin enjoys Seed.
We'll see how it goes. So far, I've preferred Universal, but we will see.
And one other thing that you've also not experienced before, right along with the Theta's thoughts, is I just dropped you a link. So we're going to put your internet connection more to the test now. Let's strain that thing.
Yep. Let's push it.
And I'll just wait for your icon to show up here that tells me that you come on. Obviously, the viewers can see what I'm looking at.
And we are loading.
Obviously, over here I have the do not open until episode 18, which is the old board that I've covered over so you can't see it. But I have tried my best to rebuild the old board that I had around this episode. The character
Got it.
relationship board that I told you about that I made for most shows.
Yeah, makes sense. That bad girl. That always messes with my head.
Oh, I guess I actually did leave a little bit of information here that I hadn't figured. Well, alright, well, you've got an idea what maybe naturals are and coordinators are then. Because I forgot to edit that out underneath their names.
No worries.
But yeah, red lines are enemies, green lines are allies. How did
Got
that
it.
get messed up? There you go. White lines are obviously unknown. I don't know if I have any white lines on this version.
There actually is no white lines on this version so far.
Okay. Those are just people who don't know what the relationship, or I don't know what the relationships are. That's confusing. Obviously here you have Atherin with a red line, and also Miguel. I did one of my little dot things here because they both
Yep.
got into a fight with Kira.
Yep.
That's why it's a one-way directional thing. And I believe they both got into a fight with Ramius. I don't know. I might have to fix that one too. Like I said, this was me trying to refix
It's
everything up.
all good.
Plus everyone who's dead with the red lines over their faces, like Rusty, who died in episode 1. Then Miguel dies in episode 2.
Yes.
I will also
And
point out
as
that
we
I did this
continue
at
to
3
watch,
a.m. in the
I
morning.
will understand this much more.
Well, they're also in tiers of hierarchy, right? So obviously over here on our main character, well, not main characters, the officers of the ship the main characters are on, that is
Yep.
obviously by rank. And over here on
Absolutely.
the zaft side, it's by the color by which their rank works in.
Yep.
So obviously here at the bottom you have everybody that stole a Gundam. And then Rusty, who's dead.
Yeah.
So maybe it was
Poor
Rusty
Rusty.
who failed. Rusty who did not get Kira's Gundam.
Sounds about right.
Well, anyway, that's the board, and you're carrying on the fine tradition of Griffin of not having really that much to say.
I did again. I don't. I have to see the relationships more because we're only so much time in.
Yeah, well, I don't know. Remember that I made this based on the same information you have.
Yep.
Literally, I went back and rewatched the episode. I brought up the board and I took a quick screenshot. It's like, oh, that's the board that I made back then, and then I rebuilt it. Although technically, a savvy viewer who has watched both of these episodes of ours now on the channel will notice that this one is actually a lot better than the one I made originally. I did some sort of weird star pattern diagram before with like all the characters rotating around Kira. But I mean, yeah, you have
Okay.
the direct lines here, like Flay and Sai, I believe, are in
Yep.
a relationship because they're like holding hands and shit. Same thing for
Okay. I see what you're
Tully
saying.
and Ha here.
Yeah. So the Tola and Ha, that one I caught the relationship parts because how close they were. Flay inside didn't pick that up.
And that wasn't that big of a dig on you or anything.
Yeah.
The funniest thing I think is that I make these boards, right? But since I am involved in making them, I don't have much to say once they're done because it's like, this is self-evident. And then when I show it to somebody, it's always, well, they don't have much to say because they're like breaking it down as they see it. But so
Exactly.
it's never exactly as satisfying as I hope it will be. But I guess it's more for me to remember because I don't have your perfect memory. So I need this stuff Sometimes I'll be watching the show, can't remember a person's name, bring up the board on the side real quick.
This will also help me as we start dealing with more people as well.
Oh, some of the shows we'll eventually watch here will be so many more. I think I've said in the Gundam one, Universal Century Gundam have gone into what, maybe 30 episodes, has 116 characters on the board.
That's way too
Anyway,
many for one person to remember.
anyway, how about you go ahead and recap us on what happened the last time?
All right. So last time there was a fair amount of continued combat. We are currently not in a time of peace. And last episode was collapsing ground. Pretty sure.
Does sound familiar, but I
Okay.
constantly always ask you, what was the last name? What's the name of the last episode? So
100%. No, it was because it ended with the fight where your first comment was, why doesn't he just get in the way of the gunfire?
I mean, that was also,
Because his suit clearly doesn't take damage.
I brought that up so many times in the other thoughts section as well, and I'm like, yeah, but me and Justin constantly talked about it. I don't need to bring this one up again.
But that led to the destruction of the space station that they were on. Escape pods launched, and I know that the last one wasn't collapsing ground. The last one they were in space. The fight continued, and it ended with Kira grabbing the escape pod and bringing it to the ship.
So, point of clarification, I don't think they are called space stations. I don't think that's how we're supposed to refer to them. I think they might be orbs. This is another point
Okay.
of confusion that I have that was never clarified. Griff was constantly telling me throughout the watch that this had all been said. And it's like, I don't remember. I think I still have question marks next to the word plant. Like, what the fuck is a plant?
So based off that, I'm going to call them space cottages. The space cottage got blown up.
It's a cottage industry.
Exactly.
Was that everything you wanted to bring up?
I believe so, because we still haven't had a confirmation what coordinators are. And or naturals.
Right.
The terms have been thrown around, but it's never been clearly stated yet. You said something about how much stuff wouldn't go wrong if that pod wasn't brought on the ship. So I'm curious to see how that plays out.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess that one's mostly for the comment section. Like, we'll be able to go back and forth over that, I think, relatively soon, especially with the speed that we're going through these episodes in catch-up mode.
Yeah.
Like I said, once we hit episode 18 again, I'm going full bore back into Theta's thoughts mode.
Hell yeah.
We will be slowed down completely.
Works
The
for me.
molasses of my thoughts. All right then. I think we should just then go ahead and get into it.
We'll do it.
But before we get started, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and comment down below to feed that algorithm. On top of all that, if you want to watch more shows like this, unfiltered, uncensored, and uncut, as well as some early access stuff, you can check it out over on the Patreon. It's just $5 a month, but hey, no pressure. It's all to support the channel, just a little bit extra.
Here we go. We are bringing the pod on board.
Yeah, it's a very brief recap.
Yeah.
Oh, right. They're putting themselves between the Archangel and Artemis.
Yes. Yeah, because he was all like, do I have to go?
Yep. Again, it's another in a long line of references I can no longer make, or rather I'll be making them in reverse order. if I make any at all.
Yeah.
Well, at this point, we were, I don't know. We had already watched all of Origin, me and Griff, and then we were
Yep.
some episodes into original OG Gundam.
Got
Because
it.
I know I was making references to the original Gundam at this point. Which means that, I don't know, month, 2 months from now, when we start watching Universal Century, you, me, and Lessons.
Yep.
The reverse is the only way that I could be able to do this. Making references to Seed in regards to OG Gundam, which is gonna be painful.
Yeah, you know what? I bet there's gonna be some people in the comments who are the biggest fan of you doing that.
Well, of course, because people, I don't know, it's weird. A lot of people have their favorite Gundams and they crap on other Gundams. You will never make a Gundam fan happy. I don't know, maybe you will. I'm just a hater. I
You
crapped on Gundam 00 so much.
haven't hit a moment where I've been a serious hater yet, but I won't be surprised if it happens.
Yep, that Gundam just turned blue.
来たわね。対モビルスーツ戦闘用意。ミサイル発射管13番から24番。コリントス装填。リニアカノンバリアント。両弦起動。目標データ入力。急げ。
Fighting against mobile suits would be such a disadvantage because of the actual mobility of them.
何？
I can't wait for the
奪った G をすべて投入してきたというの。
there's a technical aspect to a lot of these shows. Like Gundam has a lot of tech manuals and shit.
Yep.
So I can't wait for those people to start responding and having you try to react to technical specifications.
守るって言ったって。
Because a lot of times it's assumed that Gundam has certain things
アスラン。
because
Got it.
they've been standard since OG Gundam.
遅れを取るなよ。
Got it.
あんなやつに。敵モビルスーツ軍3回。
I know someone out there is so pissed that I'm like your Sherpa for Gundam,
レーザー照準。
considering how much shit they disagree with me over.
13番から18番。
I love it.
7番から12番。スレッジハマー装填。19番から24番。コリントス。
Okay, so different type of weaponry being fired.
キラアスラン。やめろ。剣を引け。キラ。僕たちは敵じゃない。
Well, remember that the Gundams are experimental, but so is the Archangel itself.
アスラン。
Yeah.
コーディネーターのお前がなぜ僕たちと戦わなくちゃならないんだ。
What's that? Kira as a coordinator? Who would have guessed?
Okay.
リアッカとニコルは船を。俺はアスランとモビルスーツをやる。わかりました。
I think I pointed out early on that Atherin was typing away at the keyboard just the same way that Kira was.
Yeah.
文句はなしだディアッカ。でかい獲物だろ。
The amount of money being spent in ammunition justify on those Gundams right now would be astronomical.
やめろキラ。
Well, I mean, it's a world at war, remember?
なぜ地球
11
Yep.
months.
なぜナチュラルの味方をするんだ。僕は地球軍じゃない。けどあの船には仲間が、友達が乗ってるんだ。君こそなんでザフトになんか、なんで戦争したりするんだ。
Last member we have of Atherin, remember, was in a Girl Scout uniform.
その君がどうして
Yep.
ヘリオポリスを。状況もわからぬナチュラルどもがこんなものを作るから。ヘリオポリスは中立だ。僕たち
Okay, so it seems like a coordinator is somebody who is trained in specific things.
何をもたもたやってい
It
る。
doesn't seem to be an actual, like,
イザークか。
alignment within
102デュエル。じゃあこれ
within forces.
回避行動を取りつつ加速最大アンチビーム爆雷発射イーゲルしてる敵を間に近づけるなエルダークは自動発射にセットしろ
I mean, you also heard that Kira tried to pull the neutral card,
Yeah.
despite the fact that their orb, maybe, had these weapons of war on it,
Yeah.
and an Earth Force's presence.
I see the Archangel also has plot armor.
I don't know. Could be the same phase armor that we've seen that the Gundams have.
なかなかの武装じゃないか。取り付けない。
艦艇部から仕掛けます援護を
わかった。
Here we go.
敵モビルスーツ艦艇部へ展開。
テーブイーゲルしてる迎撃開始ゴッドフリートを使う
Yeah, I mean, obviously it's a spaceship.
取り舵
It should be armed on all sides. Also, it's got missiles that track them. You've seen them. Well, that's one mistake I've made. I just saw Ellie in the same shot as Flay, and I didn't put Ellie on the board. Ellie's a little girl.
モビルスーツ1機のみとのことです。あのモビルアーマーはまだ出られんということか。そう考えて良いのでは。くそくそそんな戦い方で
It seems like Kira is nowhere close to winning that fight.
Well, he's fighting, what? Is it 3 versus 1 or 2v versus 1?
I think it's 1v1 because the other two went off to attack the ship.
Right. But I just mean, how many Gundams are out there?
Yeah.
手法発射準備照準敵戦艦手法発射準備照準敵戦艦
Okay, no, so it's 2v1.
Well, no, it has to be 3. We have Atherin, Yazak, and... Yeah, it starts with a D, can't remember his name.
Well, because they also have 2 people going after the Archangel as well. Because there's
Right, but
5
they're
suits.
pivoting. They're pivoting between who they're attacking.
Got it.
I mean, technically, they have 4 Gundams. I just don't remember if they have all 4 Gundams on the field right now.
They do. They have 2 on the Archangel, and now they're back because they tried to hit the Archangel from multiple angles.
What's that? He knew the guy was coming before the sensors did.
Yeah. That can't be good for the for the ship.
Sodium wall. I don't know what the hell that is. It just makes me think it's a wall made of salt.
100%. So what they do with their food is they heat it up and they just wipe it on that wall, and it's seasoned.
Yes, the napkin wall.
隙を逃さず前方ナスカ級を撃ちます。両円グリーン1番2番戦車用意。フラガ隊に空域離脱を打電。ストライクにも車線上から離れるように言って。両電子バンクチェンバー臨界。
Here we go. Now we're fighting back.
Well, I mean, technically, I think they're still on their escape route.
Mm-hmm.
Oh shit! Zero, zero, zero. That's where we're at.
That's gonna be a lot of crew lost based off the way that got hit.
I have said that if I knew anything about the show, I wouldn't have had myself drawn as the character I did. I would have shown Nicole here.
Yeah.
Sorry, I said Nicole, I meant Yazak.
Got it.
No more confidence given in seeing the pilot. Ah!
As we are out of energy.
Oh wait, if I wasn't clear, that's Yazak right there. The one he's fighting currently. Getting dizzy yet?
So
It's another long-running joke of mine. Special abilities of Gundams and whatnot. Is that Atheron's seems to be a gripper game. Because you see it, he's got like some weird forearm thing going on. He just gripped it.
Yep.
Most useless ability I can think of.
Can you build me a way to hold stuff?
Obstinately, the Gundams are humanoid with hands.
Yep.
A bloody Valentine mentioned again.
Yep. I'm more confused by the configuration of how the gripper is made. Yeah, no, it just folded all of the logical parts up to make it so you have no mobility and you have legs, some torso, and a gripper. Yeah.
Well, the point I focused on during this part is the fact that Atheron let Kira go because he's being shot at, right? There's no damage to his Gundam, so there's no reason he should have let go. Plus, he's surrounded by 3 other allied Gundams who can deal with the threat. Literally, it makes no sense for him to let Kira go.
Because like because it hasn't been shown that they're taking like recoil and being battered around from the shot.
Well, they're all Gundams. They all have phase armor as far as we know. So that same "they can't hurt me with this" applies to him. Literally, the only Gundam out here that can be hurt right now is the Strike. So we saw it ran out of power and his phase armor faded away, so it went from blue to gray.
Realistically, why would you make a weapon that big for a Gundam if you could probably get something just as powerful that was much more wieldy? I get that it looks cool, but there's got to be a point where you go for efficiency.
Not in Gundam.
Fair enough.
Thank God he shot the slow-moving missile, and not all the other laser weapons he seems to have fired this whole time.
Clearly not.
It's a little bit funny how we can all absorb laser hits, but the one time Yasek gets shot, nope.
Yazek's phase armor is different. It's not that. I don't know. I got nothing.
It's possible. Clearly seems like all the Gundams are just a little bit different.
Yes.
Yeah, Yasek is the platinum blonde one.
Got it.
4機でかかったんだぞ。それで仕留められなかった。こんな屈辱があるか。だからといって、ここで
This is why I agree with him so much. He's right. They had 4 guys. They should have won.
Yeah.
Also, Atherin let go for some reason, which is weird.
アスラン、あなたらしくないとは僕も思います。でも、
今放っておいてくれないか、ニコル。
That the soft music's playing. Atherin's gonna be.
I appreciate the
Yeah.
punch the wall and then floats away from the punch. Because that's, you know, momentum.
いやー、なかなか坊主が出てこねえんで。おやおや。おい、何やってんだ。ほら、キラーヤマト。
That's called the panic.
もう終わったんだ。もう。
PTSD is also a major
お前も俺も死ななかった。
theme of Gundam.
上出来だったぜ。
But he's here now.
船がすごく揺れるし、私一人で。
アルテミス、本艦の受け入れ要請を了承。臨検艦を送るとのことです。
分かったわ。ありがとう。
クルーゼ隊長へ本国からであります。
評議会からの出頭命令ですか。そんな。
You've been summoned.
ここまで追い詰めておきながら。
ヘリオポリス崩壊の件で。
The Supreme Council is set?
てんやわんやといったと
Yep.
ころだろう。ま
Okay.
あ仕方ない。あれはガムフを残して引き続き追わせよ。
Yeah, remember, there were 2 ships here before.
修理が終わり次第。
It was.
本国へ向かう。
ちょっと
と言い忘れてた。
はい。
ストライクの起動プログラムをロックしておくんだ。君以外誰も動かすことができないようにな。
Smart.
ご苦労様です。本館の養成受領を感謝いたします。
You figure if shields like that were possible, why not build them into your ships?
別名アルテミスの傘。
Yeah, you're not wrong.
絶対防御兵器なんだってさ。
よかった。これでもう私たち助かったのね。
ああ。
It might be a case of power, like the amount of power that will be required, but it.
Sure, well then build bigger ships.
Yeah.
You've got this asteroid base with it on it, put engines on the base.
艦長、
なんだよこれは。
少佐殿。
お静かに願いたい、艦長殿。
Ooh, something's happening.
I think, during this point in the original watch, I incorrectly thought this guy might be Zaft, because I thought for a second his uniform was not the same as their uniform. Clearly it is. It clearly
that's a fun mistaken distinction.
Yeah, well, it's the white Zaft uniform kind of looks like the generic Earth uniform, so...
I think it might be a case of them trying to compensate the Gundams.
So we've just met these guys. We've only seen 2 of them. Only one of them has talked, and you're already assuming they're trying to betray everybody.
Yeah.
Based on what?
Based off the fact what Gundams are in comparison to mobile suits, and if these guys are not on the secret, then that would be a huge sign of suspicion. Where did you get this? Are you working with that?
動き始めた運命の針は止めようもなくキラをどこへ向かわせようというのか。次回機動戦士ガンダムシード消えるガンダム。
It's like the same idea as like FBI agents or like FBI contractors getting pulled over by the police, and them having to be like, yes, I have this. No, you can't search my things. This is who I work for. Like that idea with the communication not being distinct. That's, you know what I mean?
Well, yeah, but there's also plenty of videos online of like FBI and CIA guys getting arrested by the cops before realizing who they work for.
That's what I mean. So I think it's that kind of case.
I mean, you just saw the preview as well.
100%. But I thought that before the preview when I saw the weird spacesuit.
Right. No, I'm not trying to. I'm not
campus.
discounting your. This is what I think is going to happen during the song before the preview showed up. I just mean that you can also add to your theory by what you saw in the preview.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, any other thoughts?
My only other thought is something's going on with Kira that he's not actually piloting the suit properly. I'm convinced he knows how to pilot it so much better, but he's just not doing it.
That is certainly a thought. Obviously, I'm neither going to confirm nor deny anything.
Of course.
Anybody, again, I think the thing here is that you're not... I'm obviously not riffing off of you very well. In the realm of telling you information. In that I don't... My fight is desperately trying to remember only the things that have happened in the past and not the things that I know for the next, 10 episodes. Correct. And I think the real riff is going to come once people start responding in the comments. But
yeah, I'm looking forward to that.
those will be the people that actually know and will be trying to then put that into the same, the same concept sphere. However, we're recording these so fast in catch-up mode that those people will be responding when we're well ahead into territory that even I don't know. So,
Which will be even better.
yeah, I don't know. They might be responding
Come
to
back.
like the beginning arc stuff when we might be in Gundam Seed Destiny, which I think is the second season of the show. That's just a guess. I don't know.
We'll see.
Working on different release schedules than we used to have. So, any final thoughts?
Yeah. I don't know what I think about Kira. The coordinating is still interesting. And I'm not sure if Kira is, at this point, a good guy.
You don't know if he's a good guy. Who do you think is a good guy?
A lot of the people on the Archangel, I think, would be on the side of good, but I think that, again, like I said, I think there's something up with Kira that's stopping that line of actually doing the job.
You think a lot of people on the Archangel are good guys, so you think Bad Girl is a good guy.
Yes. Bad Girl is a good guy.
But Kira is not.
I don't know. I think he's going to be, but I think he might have connections to the others than he wants to admit.
Well, obviously he knows Atherin. We had a whole flashback about their past.
Yeah.
But then he also just saw in this episode, he asks why Atherin is working for zaft, and then says himself that he's not working for the Earth Forces.
That's what I mean. So if he's not working for the Earth Forces, and he's like, why are you working for zaft? Who is this mysterious third force?
He said he was neutral.
Okay. Until I'm proven, I do not believe he is neutral.
Also, we saw he was at school before all this happened.
Yep. We'll see.
Are you calling the school a mysterious third force?
No, I'm not calling the school a mysterious third force.
I'm just saying that if Griff had told me this in this episode, that he thought there was a third force at play, this is the same line of questions I'd be giving. Like, I don't know what third force that you're imagining exists.
Neither do I. That's the best part about it.
Because
I don't have the information to finish it.
My perspective, Kira seems completely unknowledgeable about anything. He's like, why are you doing this? Why is this happening? We're a neutral party. How could you do this? He's not acting with the... Oh, God. There's always a term that I use with, like, RPGs and shit, and I can never remember what it is. When you act with authority upon the world, when you have the ability to change your environment, it's one word. When you have this thing...
I know what you're talking about. Can't think of it.
Yeah.
Agency.
Yeah, that's the word. He lacks agency. He's obstinately the main character of the show, but it feels like he lacks agency, both via his not having any knowledge about the world. Well, obviously he has major agency. He's got the fucking Gundam. But I just mean, he lacks any knowledge to do anything with it. And I would feel like if he's like the perpetrator of some sort of mysterious third faction, he wouldn't lack that.
Well, I don't think he's the perpetrator of some third faction. I think he's connected to a third faction.
Okay.
Thanks.
I'm thinking okay, I know what's happening here. You're making a shot in the dark and hoping to be right later.
It's not even a hoping to be right later. It's more of I'm trying to figure out holding him back.
I'm not.
He knows what to do.
I'm not cracking down on you. If you want to make a shot in the dark, it's fine. Nothing better than finding
I'll
out you've
take a
been
shot
right
in
the
the
whole
dark.
time.
I'll take a shot in the dark completely. However, I think there's some connection that we haven't seen yet that is the reason why he's not fighting properly. Because we've seen him jump in, reprogram this thing, defend himself, and now all of a sudden he can't fight. It doesn't make sense.
Sure. I mean, obviously, I'm
That's at least what I'm
doing the
saying.
self-censor. I'm trying
Of
to
course.
only hit you with facts from before, but I've got a shit memory, so I'm really erring on the side of caution when it comes to my comments.
That is that is just what I'm seeing.
All right. Well, that was your final thought?
Indeed.
All right, then. We'll go ahead and wrap up for this episode. But, yeah, I have been Theta. This has been Justin. We are Stone-Faced Reactions, and we will catch you next time. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Hey everybody, thanks for watching another Stone-Faced Reactions. If you have an idea of another video we could go ahead and watch, go ahead and put it in the comments down below and we'll add it to the wheel. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and let us know what you thought about this video, what parts you liked. And until then, we'll see you next time. Is this too goofy?